They surrounded her from all sides, rifles raised, boots pounding the dirt, breaths trembling with fear they refused to show. She didn't move. She didn't even blink. Because she had warned them, twice. But they laughed. They thought she was bluffing. They didn't know that the woman they tried to intimidate was the Marine Corps' most feared close combat master, the kind whose name was whispered in training halls, the kind whose records were sealed because rookies fainted when instructors explained what she once survived. And now, as the soldiers closed in, unaware of the legend standing 20 feet from them, she whispered the same words again, calmly, politely, almost gently. I warned you. I'm a Marine combat master. What happened next changed all of their lives forever. Captain Ara Hale always hated raising her voice. It wasn't her style. Strength, she believed, was silent, like the moments right before a lightning strike. She arrived at Camp Tormac on a cold, gray morning, carrying only a small bag and a sealed letter from Marine Command. Nobody knew why she'd been assigned there. Nobody knew her real history. Nobody knew the medals she'd refused, the promotions she'd rejected, or the missions she completed that were still classified even now. But the soldiers noticed one thing. She was quiet. Too quiet. Private Lennox, young and overly confident, nudged his friends as she passed. Combat Master? Her? Please. She's tiny. Ara heard it but didn't react. She'd learned that silence hurts more than anger. The new commander, Major Rylan, had ordered a welcome demonstration, his way of testing new arrivals. The courtyard filled with soldiers as Ara stepped forward. She didn't want to embarrass anyone. She only wanted peace. This exercise might get intense, she warned politely. So I'll say this once, I'm a Marine combat master. They laughed. Even Rylan smirked. Combat master? Then let's see what you've got. Her heart softened at their arrogance. They were young. They didn't know the price she paid to earn that title. The friends she buried. The nights she still woke up gasping. Rylan signaled. 6 soldiers rushed her. Ara didn't even open her fists. She moved like wind, silent, controlled, impossible to track. One twist, one shift of weight, one step sideways, and every soldier hit the ground before they even understood what had happened. No pain. No broken bones. Just perfect precision. Ara stepped back and bowed her head. I warned you. But Rylan clenched his jaw, embarrassed. That was luck. She caught them off guard. Word spread through camp. Soldiers whispered about her. Some feared her. Some hated her. None truly understood her. Except one. Sergeant Mara, a tough and loyal woman who saw the sadness behind Ara's calm eyes. One night, Mara approached her at the mess hall. Why'd you warn them? Ara looked down. Because I know what it feels like to be pushed until you break, and I promised myself I'd never cause unnecessary pain. Not again. For the first time, someone didn't laugh at her warning. But trouble was coming. Real trouble. Trouble none of them were ready for. And when it arrived, they would learn exactly who she really was. The alarm sirens ripped through the night, shaking the entire base. Enemy fighters, an elite rogue unit, had infiltrated the forest line. Rylan panicked. No one moves without orders, he shouted. But the soldiers' hands trembled. Many were inexperienced. They weren't ready for a real infiltration. Ara stepped forward, calm and unhurried. I'll handle the front line, she said. Rylan snapped, You? Absolutely not. Mara grabbed his arm. Sir, let her. Before anyone could argue, an explosion tore through the perimeter. Shadows sprinted toward the soldiers. They were outnumbered. Outskilled. Out of time. Rylan shouted, Close in on them. Close in. But the soldiers hesitated, because the enemies were already closing in on them. Then they heard her voice. Firm. Quiet. Unshakable. Stand behind me. Era walked forward alone. The enemy fighters didn't know her name. They didn't know they were rushing toward the one Marine whose training manuals were locked away because no one else in the modern Corps could even attempt them. They didn't know she'd once fought her way out of an ambush with nothing but a broken compass. They didn't know she'd saved entire units who never even saw her face through the smoke. But the soldiers behind her knew. This wasn't just skill. This was destiny. Era whispered again, just loud enough for them to hear. I warned you. I'm a Marine combat master. And with that, the legend awakened. She moved like lightning. Every strike was precise. Every block was effortless. Every attacker dropped within seconds. The soldiers behind her watched in disbelief. Lennox whispered, she's not human. Mara replied, tears in her eyes, she's exactly what we needed. After minutes of chaos, silence fell. The final enemy collapsed. Era stood, breathing steadily, eyes calm, heart steady. The soldiers surrounded her, but not to fight. To respect. To thank. To understand the warning they had mocked. Ryland stepped forward, humbled. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Era looked at him softly. No one ever does. That's why I warned them. The camp that once doubted her, now trusted her with their lives. And she, for the first time in years, no longer felt alone. True strength is silent, humble, and patient. It doesn't demand respect. It earns it. And legends aren't born because the world believes in them. They're born because they keep going, even when no one does. Be the person who rises quietly. Who warns softly. And who lets their actions speak louder than any doubt.